Hey guys, Marstingan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and boy, what have I woken up to? So, Goresh posted this tweet, shout out to the homie. In a future update, Dokkan will let you use two different units that have the same name on the same team. Now, when I first read this, I honestly wasn't sure. Like, those of you who've interacted with Goresh a little bit, watched the podcast stuff, you know that Goresh can have a kind of dry sense of humor sometimes. So when I first read this, I honestly didn't know if this was a joke or not. And a lot of people in the comments obviously being hype. Somebody did mention it somewhere, but it has been confirmed in the news in-game. So, of course, when I now want to scroll down to actually find one, I can't see it. But apparently it is confirmed in-game, and it does seem like this is a serious tweet from Goresh. So, as the title of this video will probably say, this changes the game completely. This has been one of the biggest things with the game for the longest time. It's affected some teams massively, one of which we will obviously talk about very shortly. I mean, you can see the tabs at the top of the screen probably at this point, so it won't be a surprise. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. Now, the one thing that we don't know at time of recording, which a couple of people have asked in the comment section, is whether or not the units will actually be able to link together, right? Because you can already technically have the same named units on a team. If, for example, say you're running say you run a Movie Bosses team, you could bring Turles as the leader. I could bring physical Dragon Ball Super Broly, and then I could bring so I'll do it the other way around for the leader skill, obviously, for Movie Bosses. So you can bring Turles as a leader, bring this guy on the team, and then bring this guy as a friend because he has the Movie Bosses lead. So then you're technically running both of these guys on the same team. But then if you put them next to each other on the rotation, they don't link. So that is a big question which will have a significant impact, is whether those units can actually link together or not. Now, if they can't, it's still a really good update. It just means you can't run them on rotation together, because obviously a lot of the time same named units would probably end up being each other's best link partner, obviously. But even if you can't do that, it still gives you a huge amount of options for stuff, which obviously we are going to go over some of now. So this is a crazy buff for a lot of people. So obviously the Broly one, I didn't really think I was going to show it on the Twitter thread, but the Broly one is a massive one because I really like the tech Broly. But obviously for Movie Bosses, like, the physical Broly is really good to use for the leader skill. So now you're actually able to run them together. Makes it easier to run like a full Broly team as well. We've done that sort of meme team video before. Obviously STR, LR Broly and the physical one could get used together now. I don't think Broly really has any other crossover with those. There's still no like really good base form Broly. But the big one is, of course, Piccolo. So Piccolo, for some reason, they've been refusing to give him different names. I always thought they should call him like Piccolo brackets Kami absorbed and stuff like that for the different cards. But this is potentially going to be massive for the Namekians team. And I wonder if the timing of this update means that maybe JP is going to be getting a Namekians Super Battle Road stage finally for like the OG category stages. Because there's, what, 40 of the original Super Battle Road at the moment. Ending off with Final Trump card. So imagine if there's a Namekian Super Battle Road and they've done this to make it a little bit easier, because you can obviously run Piccolo as your leader, and then it's not within the realms of possibility that, like, not too long from now, LR Piccolo could be getting his Easy A, and if they make him really good, then obviously you can then run him on that team. The AGL free-to-play one that fuses with Nail is actually pretty good. The STR AoE one would be good for a Namekian Super Battle Road as well. So obviously running him and the actual Dokkan Fest leader on the same team would be really good. And then the other physical one that got his Easy A, he provides all allies with a massive defense buff. So being able to run him on the Namekians team would be really good. Again, even if you can't link the units together, just having them on opposite rotations, like, that helps out this team so much, because the biggest issue with this team is obviously not having enough units with different names. Because if we actually open up the Namekians category here as well, this does apply to a couple of other units. like the different Lord Slugs. I know I think those guys are differently named. There's a couple of different Demon King Piccolos, but the LR is differently named from the STR one, which makes that a little bit easier. This guy is like an okay support unit. I wonder if World Tournament cards will ever get like easy A's, because then I guess he could be useful. But yeah, I suppose looking at the category now, it's not really the other Namekians that were the issue. It's mainly just Piccolo. So that being changed is going to be really hype. Also, just jumping back to the tweet off the top of my head, the one thing I did remember is note the way that this is worded is it does say it will let you use 2 different units that have the same name. So I'm assuming that means you can't then just make a team that is literally all Piccolo, because it just says 2 units and not like multiple units or as many units as you want. So either way, that'll be a huge buff for the Namekians team. Then, of course, let us get on to the man himself with his 50 million cards, Goku. So, base Goku. You got the Super Battle Road one, is a really good support unit. The 1000 Day LR, he's kind of mid. Even with his EZA, he's not that great, and most people aren't going to be able to have his EZA for ages. But the base Goku is a decent support unit. But when you're competing for spaces on, like, say, a Goku family team or something with, like, the Namek Goku, who's really, really good, you can sometimes use in, like, longer events. You can kind of do the cheese where you reverse transforming Goku to base because he infinitely stacks defense in base. This guy and the Int Vegeta will probably get an EZA at some point as well. So there's a couple of base Gokus who are decent. One of the best examples is, of course, going to be Super Saiyan Goku, because look at how many of these there are. The LR Spirit Bomb Absorb one's really good. The EZA LR one is still really good, but I would say not as good as like this guy. So any team where I could choose between these two, I would be running the AGL Gumku every time. This guy's super, super good for Super Battle Road. Really high chance to crit. This guy got his EZA as a pretty decent support, obviously transforming Goku. He's kind of dropped off a little bit now and people are sick and tired of seeing him on banners, but he is still really good. And then, yeah, I guess the Family Kamehameha one's kind of mid. I wonder if this guy will ever get an EZA, but yeah. Super Saiyan 2 Goku is another good one, so I really like the Super Saiyan 2 team, and I run this physical EZA one as a support unit. Him and the AGL one kind of exchange roles, where one of them gives key and defense to all allies and then only gives attack to Super Saiyan 2, and then the other one is the other way round, where they only give defense to Super Saiyan 2. You could now run both of them as support units on the Super Saiyan 2 team, and it saves you from having to use the Super Saiyan 2 team always felt like it needed that one extra slot for like a support unit, and we're kind of waiting on the Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyan Man World Tournament card to get his awakening to kind of finish off that team. But he only buffs super type allies, so once you've transformed your Tech Vegeta into Majin Vegeta and are potentially running him on rotation with the STR Majin Vegeta, then that Saiyaman wouldn't give that rotation any support. Whereas now I can run the physical one and the AGL one as supports. So great, now I'm going to have to start link leveling the AGL one. Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku, again, this is another huge buff for the Super Saiyan 2 team, because he's a really good unit to run, the Int one that transforms to Super Saiyan 3, but if you run him, you couldn't run this AGL one, who with his EZA is really, really good, changes orbs and can give you a ton of healing. So he can be really useful in harder events as well, save you using an item, getting a free bit of healing, but you couldn't use those two together. Now you can, so that's pretty crazy. Super Saiyan 3, I don't know if that's really that much of a buff. Like, the AGL one's still decent in short events. The LR kind of dropped off because of the link update, but there's not a huge amount of competition there, I guess. But yeah, Super Saiyan God Goku is an interesting one, because the LR is really good, built around dodging and defense, and then of course you could run like the tech one, especially if you're fighting a movie boss. Like, both of them being on the same team would be really good. I can see this guy getting an EZA at some point soon, as well as the STR one and the AGL one. I guess now that the OG UI Goku has had his EZA, they will be in the pipeline at some point as well, so that's good. Blue Goku is another good example. This guy getting his EZA soon on Global, obviously has it on JP already. You'd be able to run him and, like, say, the Nuka Goku on the same team. They're both really, really good. This guy, even with his EZA, dropped off a little bit, but again, the fact that you could run them together, that would be an insanely good rotation. And then, of course, the big one from the anniversary, UI Goku. So, if it is only 2 units of the same name, one thing you could choose to do is you could still choose to use whichever one of these two is your favorite, the LR or the Int one, and then you could bring the physical one as a support unit, because we talked about him when he got his awakening on JP. He's actually a really, really good support unit for the Universe 7 team. So, like, and a couple of other teams as well, but you would, in a lot of instances, never run him over one of these two, so now you don't have to. Which is pretty crazy. Like, if you don't want to run, if you can't link them together, if you don't want these guys one on each rotation, you can just still bring whichever one of these is your favorite, and then bring this guy as a support unit, which is actually kind of ridiculous. And then, of course, this goes to Vegeta as well, but Super Saiyan 4, it means when the STR, when the OG ones get their EZA, you're going to be able to run them on the same team with the LRs, which is pretty crazy. Especially because they alternate in typings as well, so you could have like one rotation, if they don't link together, you could have a rotation of like the AGL LR Goku with AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and then the STR LR Vegeta with STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku once they've got their EZAs. So that would be pretty crazy. Boo is another massive one as well. Like, look at this, we've got all the good Boos. The STR AOE one is still kind of decent. And the physical one that got his EZA became really, really good. The Evil Boo, I guess technically the Transform one doesn't count. So the STR EZA one's good and the free-to-play one's pretty good. Super Boo is a big one because for me, for the Majin Power / Power Absorption team, I like to run this Super Boo as the link partner for the LR Boo tanks. But I could now also bring this guy on the team to provide the 50% support to the physical Boo tanks as well, which would be pretty crazy. Boo Piccolo, there's obviously not that much of a crossover, but the other big one is Kid Boo, because now Int Kid Boo with his EZA is ridiculously good. Now you don't have to choose between bringing him and bringing the physical one for the support, because you'd be able to bring them both on the same team, which is again pretty crazy. And then I just brought up the androids one here. Not to go into specific units too much, but you think about like how many cells there are, how many 17s, how many 18s. There's even multiple future 17s and future 18s. So the androids category gets a massive buff out of this as well. So let me know what you guys think, because like I've said, this is a huge game changer for Dokkan, and it'll be interesting to see what this means going forward. Does it mean that the Saiyan Day unit is going to be something like a legendary Super Saiyan Broly, and that's why they're doing this, because they're bringing out a unit that's going to have name competition with a bunch of units that already exist, or is it just something further down the pipeline? The other thing to realise as well is, whilst this is in the news for JP, I haven't actually checked the news for Global, but quality of life updates normally come down to Global a lot quicker than things like banners and stuff. So it's very possible that this comes to Global quite quickly, if not even around the same time as it comes to JP. So this is super hype. Let me know what you guys think down below. This changes the game massively. Let me know in the comments, what is your top pick for like the combo that you are now going to be able to run. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. So let me know all of that down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.